Hello, everybody, and welcome. And the Wanderers return. We'll just show you who's in Oz Earworms. There we go.
Hello,
We've got
everybody.
Keith. Hello, Keith, and welcome
Thank you
back.
for all your good wishes that were sent through.
You were missed, so
I'm
yeah.
not fully recovered, but I feel a lot better.
So because of that, we've got Peter along as well to read through the chat and do things, and Keith can chip in when he wants to. It takes pressure off that way, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Pete. Is it Pete or Peter? I tend to use
Whatever.
either. Oh, okay, that's fine. As long as you don't get upset, that's fine.
It's usually Peter when I call him.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, definitely. I know that feeling. Right, so those of you who watched... Oh, there it is. Those of you who watched last week will have seen me making... Sorry, I'll just put you two in the background. Will have watched me making these pendants. And one of the questions that was raised was, could I talk more about making the jig that you hold them offset with? So in fact, I'm going to show you two jigs, one to hold them in the centre and one to hold them offset. And we'll go through all that. If you've got any questions, do put some cues in front of it and ask, because one of my worthy earworms will tell me that you're asking a question, and we'll see what we can do to sort it out. So it's that. In fact, what I'm doing this time, just because I can, is doing a slightly bigger one. It's 75mm in diameter. That's the one we're going to put the hole in the middle. I've done that side's finished, that side isn't, it's still got the spike in the middle, it's flat in the middle, we've got to round that off, so we need to make up the jaws to fit the chuck, so that we can hold it sensibly without damage. And I've covered my keyboard, by the way. So let's just swap over to, which one is it? That one. Yep. These are what we're using, pieces of sweet chestnut, sorry. I was given these, so they haven't cost me anything, so I don't mind using them for this. This is the one that's going to be holding it central, so that we can just flatten off and shape this side. The other one is going to be set up, like, if you can see it, like that drawing underneath, basically. So that is there, with the whole thing offset and the hole in the middle of the chuck. This will be cut into 4. And it will be mounted on these jaws, which are there's a name for those and I can't remember it. They are the SK100 wood jaw plates. There. Oh, that's not the right way around, is it? Let's try that way. Yeah, SK100 wood jaw plates. They do a 150 version of those plates, which I are on the jaws that I used last week. They've got a few more screws in them. Very similar, just that they're bigger. We don't need them that size for this. They're also about £8 more expensive, I think. So as I had to buy some, I thought I'd get the smaller ones. So that's those. And they're going to fit just there on the back, so that when you tighten up the chuck, it holds the thing in place. 6mm gap in here to allow room for it to compress a bit. It also means you can fit slightly different sizes in there. If it's slightly undersized, it doesn't matter. Slightly little bit oversized won't matter either, because you'll be able to get them in there. Okay, if that's all clear, we will press on. So we'll start with the one that's going to hold it square. On the back of this, I've got the faceplate ring to fit the C jaws. Just happens to be the chuck I've got on the lathe at the moment, and that will enable us to recess the middle to hold the piece in place. Chuck key would be a good idea. I think the diameter of this is actually 76mm, but it doesn't matter. 75, 76. There's enough tolerance to cope with that. No problem at all. I'll just clear some space. that out of the way, get that out of the way, and that, and the air gun, that can go down there, that can go up there. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to drill a hole. It doesn't matter what size particularly, but what it does do is enable you to put a dowel in the middle to tighten it up if you want to just change what you've done in the way of the bits that are going to hold the timber. In other words, if you want to put something wider in, or if you want to modify it to put something smaller in, you can clamp up on the dowel in the centre, or you can put 6mm pieces of timber across. Doesn't matter.
Just a quick question from
Sorry, yes.
Rob at Fork and Owls, Andy.
Yep.
Do those jaws fit the SK114? And the answer
Yes.
is yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Yep, they also fit the 80mm one, I believe. Just looking at the box.
They fit all of the Axminster ones.
Yeah. So yes, they do. I've got them because they're a little bit short. The ones for the SK114 are a little bit longer, and that means that they poke beyond the corner of these things once you've drilled this hole, and I want them out of the way.
Safety corner on them as well, so they've been ground off.
Yep. But they do poke beyond the jaw, the wooden jaw, and I don't want that because I'm going to be drilling through. So I've used the SK100 jaws or jaw holders rather than the SK114 ones, because there's just a slight difference in size, but they all fit. They all fit perfectly. Right, we'll just make this hole in the middle.
Can't see what you're doing, mate.
Oh no, you wouldn't do. That's probably because I'm on the wrong camera. That would do it, wouldn't it? Is it that one? Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, I'll go through the.
Oh yes, sorry, yes, please, Pete. Yep.
First in Tommy's workshop, Andy H, Richard Phelan, Michael McEwen, Paul Houghton, Malcolm Douglas, Doug Miller, Brian El Tornero de Madeira.
Brian with a Y.
Brian with a Y.
Yeah, Chris Dodds. Good day, Chris. Roger Kent. Steve, the wood dude. Oh dear. Benjamin. Gary Glass. Jennifer's Craft and Creations. Chris Bailey Woodworks. Douglas Mungham. Forking Owls. I can't remember who that is. Rob. Greg Alexander. David J. Heath. Andrew at Wivey Woodshed. Eric Winkler. Jamie at JP Woodwork. And I think that is all I've got on my chat list. So if I've missed anybody, I do apologise. Just stick your name in again and I'll give you a shout later.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Just a little point while I'm doing this. I'm going to put the next step down just there, because that in fact will hold the ones that I made last time, 62mm or thereabouts. That will hold in there. So it means it'll serve two purposes. I'll put another step down after that.
Oh, it's Martin at Forking Owls, not Rob. My mistake.
We've done that before so many times.
Yeah.
Sorry, Martin.
Sorry, Martin.
Adam, I Love Wood Turning has joined. Hello, Adam.
Hello, Adam.
Hi, Adam.
I need to work out whether I need to take any more than that out. Oh. If he wants to go a little bit deeper, that won't hold very well. So we'll go a tiny bit deeper. Of course we can, oh, I've just lost my step on there, never mind. We can go a lot deeper, or a lot more spaces in there if we want to, or we can round it off and make it to fit the shape of the pendant, which is what I'm ending up doing because I just took the step off for a bit, but not to worry. The other thing I like to do with that is just put a very slight chamfer or dovetail on there, so it just holds the thing in instead of trying to push it back out. A bit like putting a mortise on.
Martin, those plastic jaws are okay, but you do need a decent grip on them. They do tend to work out if you're not careful.
Yeah, I thought about those and in fact decided against it in the end. Right, so that's that done. So we'll pop this off of here. I can take the ring center off the back because it's not needed now. I was using 6 screws in the back of these, which is totally excessive. Okay, right now then.
Martin Brees has joined us. Don't forget to give Andy a thumbs up.
Thank you, Martin. Right, let's just swap over to the other camera. I've only got 2. So.
Adam at I Love Woodturning has said he's sanded the inside of the jaws. It helped to give them a better grip, in his opinion.
Yep. Oh, just dropping everything. Let's put these over here out of the way. Come to those later. Oh, it's gone in the rubbish bin. So I've not used the bandsaw very much during demos. I don't normally have to worry about clearing it. Right, okay. Put that up there. That one over there, that's the other one that's coming later. Okay. As you can see, I've marked. There are lots of ways of marking out to get accurate right angles in the middle of there. I used the indexing system on my lathe.
Any chance of showing us?
I can do, yeah. I haven't got the thing on there to grip it with, but I could still show you.
Simon at SM Turn has just joined us as well.
Hello, Simon. I'm going to put those screws back in on that and show you precisely what I did. Because if you've got indexing, it's a very useful thing to have. If you haven't, then there are other ways of doing it. A set square is probably the easiest. The old plastic maths ones. Oh. Rightio. Chunky. Da. Oh, there it is. You had to be there somewhere. Right, okay. Put it there, I know what it is then. Right, so what I did, this is not going to work.
If you showed us, it would be good.
Yeah, if I showed you, yeah. That's not the right one, is it? Is this? Right, okay. I'm going to move that up a little bit. You can see the lines on here that I've drawn just about. this is not going to work exactly. I'm going to have to set it up a little bit more because obviously I just gripped it in the jaw any old where and drew a line. That line is not now going to line up, so I'll have to slacken the chuck off. And all I did was put one line, set the tool rest up really close to the piece of work, down a touch. And obviously with this, if I hadn't drilled the hole in the middle, this would all be being set up off the midpoint, which, okay, that's very nearly there. Not quite. We'll just spin that, spin that a touch. That's it. It's there. Okay. So the tool rest is now set up. I've used a longer one before, it doesn't matter too much. Set up going through the center point of the timber. And then we take a pencil and simply draw a line across there. Then count it on this one. I've got 24 gaps on this index around here. So I've got to count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is 90 degrees. It very nearly works, but not quite. But it did when I did it. But so draw those lines, and then take it off. Everybody
Quick
clear
question
on that?
on here from Steve before you go any further, Andy. It's just to the whole chat. Is there anyone from Middlesex Wood Turning Club on here? He would like to know. So it's all been read out to you now, guys. So if you'd like to answer, Steve, fine.
Yeah, feel free.
Martin's got a question at Forking Owls as well. I've been asked to make an olive wood ashtray. Would pewter in the bottom inside be okay to stop the wood from burning, and what finish to use?
Yes, pewter would be all right. Cigarettes don't burn at high enough temperature to melt it, I don't think. Finish. I would use melamine, I think. It's a good
Depends
strong.
how high up you're taking the pewter.
Yeah.
You'd need to take it above whatever is going to be the ash line.
Yeah, that's sort of a design consideration, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the one I would use for it, because it's a very tough finish. I noticed when I looked at last week's one, somebody asked what melamine was. That's what it is. It's a sort of plasticky finish, but it's waterproof and it's very tough. It doesn't show fingerprints and what have you, and it'll take whatever you throw at it, really.
Well, there's two answers come into that one, and they both suggested glass.
That's another option.
Candle plate or a glass liner.
Yep, that's another option. Yep.
Brian at Hartwood Turning has joined us as well. Good
Hello,
afternoon, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Right, so anyway, we've got our centre lines on here now, and all I did then was measure 3mm from the line either way, because you want a 6mm gap to get the spacing right for the jaws to grip the timber. So having done that, I'm just going to project them across the bit that we've cut out the middle. Because I can, just give me a bit of a guide, because I'm getting a bit old and senile and I need things like that. There's one. Fortunately, none of it's too critical because it's quite forgiving in the way that it holds the timber. Not bothering about doing the middle one, doesn't need that. That was just purely to get the outside ones in the right place.
So what are you doing then, Brian? Andy?
Sorry?
What are you doing? Because we can't see a thing.
Oh, I keep forgetting to change back again, don't I? No, oh, I've moved that camera. Well, you'll have to make it up as you go along. I'll show you in a minute. Right, I'll show you now. Because I have, that camera's on the saw now, isn't it? Yep. All I've done is joined these lines across the middle, just to give me a bit of a guide, so that when I'm cutting them on the saw, I can see what I'm doing. I just need to take the face ring plate off.
Boss is in, so be careful, mate.
Oh, is she right? Okay. So she's put a comment then.
Yep. Yeah, she's glad I'm feeling better. Thanks, Alison. And Roy's the boys in as well.
Hello, Roy the boy.
Afternoon, Roy. And Alison.
Right, put that over there. Okay, so I'm going to cut this into 4 now, as accurately as we can.
Are you going to label those, number them before you cut them out?
It's already done.
Ah, right, on the outside.
Yeah, on the outside, yep. That's the bit I can see when I'm doing it, so.
Kids repurposing has joined us as well.
But thank you for mentioning that, Keith. I had forgotten to mention it. It obviously makes life easier later on. Not so much on this one, but on the other one where you've got the hole off centre, you do need to know exactly which one lines up with which. Right, so if I come back and work on here, I've only got 2 cameras working at the moment. It's a bit of a pain, but there we are. Whew, it's warm. I've got to open the door. Start the fan going, I think. I don't think you'll hear that fan, so I think you'll be alright on that. Right, I'm just going to sand these up. It won't take a minute. Just flatten them off a bit. So that one. Just get rid of the fluffy bits and what have you. Right, so that side upwards. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And then grab the bits which are over there.
Do you want to put us on a camera that we can see you?
Yeah, I was just thinking that needs to swap back around again, doesn't it? And let's try opening it out a bit. Wrong way. That's as far as it'll go. So we'll move it back. Where is it? I lost it. There we are. Okay, I think that'll give you a good view as I've got. But basically they're going to fit there. Number 3, 4, number 1, number 2. And we want some screws. And these I'm using 4x25s. They're not too long, they won't get in the way. So right, cordless is over here. I just haven't got enough room in this workshop. Right, you can see, yes. Yep, just about. That's it. Okay, that wants to come just nearly on the edge, just slightly, just a fraction in, just to make sure it doesn't obstruct anything. Just there. Straighten the screws up. Perfect. That's one. I think I will make life a bit easier for myself and put my table. Somebody commented that last week that they like the way I lay the table when I'm doing things. It just makes life a bit easier if you haven't got that great big gap through the middle, losing everything down there. Right.
Barry's Wood Creations joined us as well.
Hello there.
Hello, Barry.
Welcome, Barry. Right, so that's there. Barry Chitty sent me a message to say he was going fishing or something.
Okay. We'll let him off then, shall we?
I don't think we have any choice really, but yeah, yes, I mean absolutely.
Slide to your right a bit, mate. That's better.
Yep. No, can't see it. Nope, I shan't even try and read it. He did send me one. So just as we were starting, so I didn't really twig where it was. So many cameras in the way over the top of this lathe.
For those of you that missed out the very start of the Andy's show, I did say thank you everyone for questioning my health and how I was and how I was doing. I came home last Thursday and I felt pretty rubbish since then, which is one of the reasons I've said to Andy today, see if he can get Peter to help him, just in case I have to pull out, because I do feel tired at the moment. So, but thank you everyone for your querying minds. It is really nice and nice to know.
And thank you, Keith, for soldiering on and giving us what you can. It is appreciated, certainly by me anyway.
Good.
Wesley Hanna has joined us as well.
Hello, Wesley.
From Piedra Designs.
Is that a new person? I don't recognise the name.
I recognise the name, but I don't recognise him as being with us very often.
Right, two more. Nearly there. Hopefully these will stay on here now. That's that. Right, let's chuck them on the chuck.
slide it right, mate, or move the camera. That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah, right in the
Thank-
centre. Right to the
thank-
centre now.
Thank you. I'm too busy concentrating on what I'm doing. Tend to miss that. Number 2. Number 3. This is where it's important to number these, because otherwise you will not remember. Oh, probably be a good idea to take the old one off, wouldn't it?
So Roy's just asked you what chuck that is, Andy.
SK114. I was going to say ask Brian, he will know. Yeah, the Axminster SK114. Very nice chuck.
Very
They both are.
versatile chuck.
Yeah, the one I should be using in a minute, only because I've only got 2 of these and I want 3, is going to be the SK100, the slightly smaller one. So, if you need to modify that, sorry, let me change camera. No, not that one. Let's try that one then. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. So, if you wanted to modify that to fit something else or whatever, then you can do it simply by putting a piece of dowel. This is one you can see I've used a few times. It's been fairly mashed about. Just in there, grip it up tight. I would normally push it in flush with the timber, but I won't for now because I've got to get it back out again. Grip it up tight, and then these are all supported then, and you can do what you like to turn on there.
It's also a good way to just read through the outside diameter of the internal hole,
Which I
just
need
in
to
case
do.
you might be
The-
1 or 2 mil out.
That one is a fraction out, so I will actually do that since we mention it now. I'm going to return the outside. I can redo the numbers, that's not a problem, and redo that rim, because that is not where it should be at the moment.
Alison reckons you're Darth Vader in.
Probably got me. Mike's touching my chin. It's for some reason, I think the heat's got to it or something. Well, let's. Oh yeah, it's quite a way out. It's not particularly surprising, so don't be alarmed by that. It does happen. Slight dovetail on there. That holds it in nice and tight, and then we'll just take a little bit off the outside, because you can see that's diving around. It's not important, the outside, but it looks better, doesn't it? It's not all jumping around while it's turning it. And I suppose I should state the obvious and say it's actually no reason why you shouldn't do this to actually form that. Instead of doing it as one solid piece, it's another way of doing it. Doesn't matter too much, but that's lovely. Really lovely, that. Take that edge off. And that is ready to mount. If you do push this dowel all the way in, or if you do go across there with your tool or whatever, the reason for drilling that hole all the way through was so that I could then use this long piece of dowel, poke it in from the other end of the headstock, slacken that off. I actually made it for removing eggs from a jam chuck, but you can just push it through, as you can see, and push that piece of dowel out the way. Otherwise it gets further and further in, you can't reach it. So very simple little dodge, but useful. So that now is ready for us to use it.
Provided that going, you've got 39 watching you, Andy.
Oh, that's excellent. Good stuff. Yes, I've made that quite a bit bigger, but doesn't matter, because that should hold. Yep, beautiful. And what you can see that what I've done, at least I hope you can see that what I've done is I've still got the flap on there. That this is finished, the outer bit, but I've just got to continue that across and make that look all lovely. And that's what this chuck is for. Purely for this little bit. It's a lot of work just for this, but is necessary. Because having made this, it's then there. I could use it for any number of times. Yeah, that's not bad. I think I'll just try and round that a little bit more, but it's not bad.
Chris Dodds is asking, Andy, could you use the knockout bar? I suppose you could, but it might mark the wood.
I think it would mark. I mean, that's why I made that one, because the knockout bar would mark eggs. So that's why I made that. And I'm not sure, is it long enough? That's the other question. There's the knockout bar. Let's undo that. I mean, it's metal on wood is not a good idea. So that's the real reason. But it's a good question. And yes, it would be long enough, but I don't want to damage it. So.
And Royce the Boys is asking, how much were the jaws for it?
Too much. These plates, they arrived this morning. They're just about in time, and these bits. Yep, these plates here, 34 quid for the 4 of them, plus a set of holders if you need them. I have one set. I bought one more, but yes, they're not cheap, but they're very versatile, very useful. But then that's all it's cost us. We haven't had to buy expensive forstner bits, which I know somebody was concerned about. I think it was Gerard. We can do it all with the tools that we've got around us. So that's that. Okay. All that just to do that. So moving on to the next bit. I'm cracking up. I've lost me. There it is. We'll take that one off of there. I'm confusing myself now. So moving on to the other one. Yes, we've got to. No, that's all right. I don't need that on that position. This one, the marking out is slightly different, so I will just cover that. Let's go back to this camera. Yep. Right, this is set with the faceplate ring in the middle. But we now want to set it to be offset. So it's going to be offset by 20mm. That will give us the right position for the hole in the middle. That was calculated on the piece of paper that I had on here a minute ago. I did the drawing in pencil and I've gone over it in felt tip pen, so apologies for the amateurish level of the drawing, but it shows there's the centre of the disc, that's the centre of the hole, and it's 20mm difference on there. So we're going to reposition
Katie's
this.
just come in to join you as well.
Sorry, who is?
Katie, Cornish maid.
Oh right, yes. Oh, hello, Katie.
Hello, Katie.
So that's going to go. Excuse me a moment. There's a nice little burr of metal on there, and that's not going to do me any good if I get it on my finger. That's better. So I just see me ripping my finger on that. So this is going on there, 20mm offset from where it was. So I simply measured from the edge 20mm. And it will go there. I have actually had it mounted on here already once, so the holes are there for me. I think we'll be alright with just 3 screws again, although it's offset. It's not hugely heavy. Then we put the chuck back on there. It seems to be a lot of swapping around of chucks and things on this job. But once you've got it set up, of course, it's easy. Once you get these prepared, then it's not an issue at all. Right, okay. Put them away. Away for a minute. That can go back up there. That can go down there. And there we are. Honky dory. Good. Okay, so it's now going to spin around.
Camera.
Yep. Which one am I on? Nothing very much really, am I? This one. Actually, I think the other one would be better. Let's try it and see. I've knocked my head on it too many times. There we are. Right, we're going to be... Is that any better? A little bit. We're going to be cutting that disc out now. If you look at that, you can see it is running true to that disc. The centre of the whole thing is there. I'm going to be drilling a 1/4 inch hole, a 3/4 inch hole in there, 15mm I think it is, in there first, because that's what I want. Put that back into here. No, that's not right. I don't want that at all. That hole needs to be there, doesn't it? On the centre of the thing when it's not offset. Because we need to be able to tighten the jaws up. Yep, so, okay, ignore that then. As you were.
Adam at I Love Wood Turning is asking, Can you put offset and centre on same jaws? I think it might be possible as you're only gripping small stuff.
I don't know, because you're going to cut away. I don't know. It's possible. Let's just compare the two. You can't. No, you can't see that. So you're going to want to have. There's quite a big overlap. I don't think it would grip the jaws very well. I don't think the jaws will grip the timber very well. I'd need to draw it out, but I don't think it will work.
I don't think so either.
No, you can see what you're saying, but I don't think it will work. Right, okay, here we go. Oh, does make it bounce a bit. About there. That one's sharper. Not much.
Pete, you're on your own for about 10.
Okay. Oh, Katie at Cornish Maid, I've finally turned my first bowl. Well done, Katie.
Well done, Katie. Yeah, absolutely. Just get that smoothed out and see whether that's anywhere close. What I'm actually doing on this one is making it slightly dished. To fit this, you can just do it in steps, which gives you the option of fitting more bits in. That's not quite there yet. It's got to sit below this surface, basically. If it doesn't, it ain't going to grip.
Mm-hmm.
Dovetail in there. See how that looks. That's better. That's just below the surface. It's rocking on the middle a little bit. I'm going to take a bit more out of the middle. Could just drill that out if you wanted to. But I'm honouring my word. I'm not using too many drill bits. Certainly no huge ones. That's better. That feels good. That's lovely. Okay, so then we need to set it to central. To cut the hole in the middle. We don't actually have to cut much there, but that's where it's going to be. But we do want to drill a hole in the middle so that we can adjust things as needed. It's all a bit fiddly, this, I'm afraid. Not much I can do about that. It just is.
Stuart Ingruli's joined us as well. Hello, Stuart.
Hello, Stuart. Ingrouille.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
It's a sort of French way of pronouncing it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I tend to do it just to show off, you know. Has to be done, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Right, just tighten those up. Drill that
Change
hole. And then
Can't
we
see
can...
what you're doing again, Andy.
No, that's probably true, but never mind. You can hear what I'm doing. I'll... It's going back on here now, so all I've done is put the ring plate on the back.
In the centre, yeah.
Yeah, in the centre, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck key, there it is. That's it. Put that up there where it belongs, I won't lose it. Right, so now I can drill the hole for the middle. And that is that. The marking of the hole, the lines to cut to is exactly the same as on the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck keys I put away, didn't I? God, my brain's going. Right, whip that off. Because the bandsaw doesn't much like going through this. Tends to blunt the blade a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a tad. Right, so those there, if you remember last time, I did have a ruler. There it is. And I just extended those lines across. Can you see me?
No.
No, you can't. Okay, let's try that one.
Got a good view of the chuck and the ring plate.
Somewhere. There it is. So all I'm doing is just simply extending these lines across the bit where I've turned it. It just helps me, that's all. And I need all the help I can get if I'm honest. It's not high precision, but it needs to be somewhere near right. That's it. And then we'll cut those out. So that means turning this camera around to here. Where's the blade gone? It's there somewhere. Right, so that's not too far away, is it?
Katie Cornish maid's off. She's got to go and get ready, suited and booted again for another ceremony at 3.
Right. Okay, well, enjoy.
Good luck, Katie.
All of the noisy bits done. I'll just sand these off very quickly. It won't take many minutes. Again.
And then remember to change the camera again.
Yes, I will do. Promise.
Benjamin is asking, Andy, have you tried making a similar jig, but instead of the 4 jaws, just one slit cut from the outside to the centre, which can then be compressed using a spigot?
I'll turn this sander off in a minute. I can't hear you very well,
Okay.
and I'm not following it at the moment. That's better. Sanders, the dust extractors stop going. Makes life easier. So right, sorry, what was Roy? Was it Roy?
Benjamin. Andy, have you tried making a similar jig, but instead of the 4 jaws, just one slit cut from the outside to the centre, which can then be compressed using a spigot? Said, granted, it won't have the same range of diameter.
I was just going to say that I think would be my reason for not having done it. But no, I haven't, Ben. To answer your question, I haven't done that. Oh, that's over there. So the camera's in the wrong place as ever.
Using that system, I don't think that you could use the offset one like that, could you?
I don't think so. I can't quite see how you would do it unless you can mount it on the chuck offset. I can't get this to focus. Come on. Oh, it's nearly there. That's about it there, isn't it? Right, okay. Come up a little bit. That's where I'm working. Yep, that's good. So I suspect it wouldn't work adequately.
No, I don't think so.
I can't see it just off the top of my head. I need to give it a lot more thought, but I don't think it would work.
I think the piece of wood that you start off with that system would have to be a lot thinner.
Oh yes, because it's got a flex, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that I'd want something flexing to that degree if I'm trying to turn it on the lathe. But I can see where he's coming from, but I'm just not sure it would work. One, two, three. I need another 13 screws and we're there. Might just about have enough. No, a few more than I need. One. Oh, did I put the right one on? No, I didn't. Of course I didn't. Don't be silly. I only put number 4 on number 1. It's about as far out as it could be, wasn't it?
Could you slide it to your right a little bit as well?
Sorry, yep. My whole table will slide. Right, so that's number 1. Let's put number 4 on. That's number 3. That's number 2, of course. Number 4 must be this one. Just 2 o'clock. Oh, that's right, we're nearly there.
Oh, Robert Copperell's joined us as well. Hello, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
He's asking what he
I'm
missed.
back in with you, Andy, anyway.
Oh, hello, Keith. Asking what I'm making. Did you say, Pete?
No, he just said, what did I miss?
Oh, not a lot. More of the same.
Sid's repurposing is asking, does this offset cut stay true? Give the centre of the jaws is different to the centre of the holding circle.
No, because the centre of the jaws are the centre of the holding circle.
Well,
Once it's on the chuck, it will become evident.
yeah, the centre of the chuck is where the hole is going to be. So therefore, these jaws are holding the whole thing off centre. You'll see it as soon as I put it together. You'll see exactly what I mean. Honest. Right, number one.
Yeah, trust him. He's a doctor.
Hi, Rob. Yeah, it's me in the background.
There's a lot of fiddling about this. Once you've got it all done, though, you can churn these things out. As you can see from the photograph that was on YouTube for this demo, I used to make lots of these. Mostly made as shawl pins with a long thin pin, 4-inch long pin to go with it to stick through the shawl to hold it through the whole of the in the pendant. But they were very popular and sold extremely well. Number two is that one. Oh, nearly. Oh, that's slightly off. Let's pull that back round a bit and then I'll move the other side. It's not quite right, that one. Right. Pull it round a bit, that's better. That's better. Put it in the other hole and that'll hold it.
Yappy Makes has just joined us as well. Welcome,
Hello,
Yappy.
Jappy.
Afternoon, Yappy.
Thanks, Malcolm Douglas. I do feel a bit better, but I'm not 100% yet.
But working on it.
Yeah.
Ben Jamin's off. Have a good day, Ben.
Bye, Ben. Thanks
Cheers,
for coming.
Ben.
I've nearly finished. You've seen most of it anyway, so if you want to have a go, feel free. Sit.
Michael McEwen is off as well. Got to go and play in the tool store.
Best thing to do. That's pretty much what I do on Thursdays down at the museum. Certainly couldn't be accused of working down there. Right then. Let's get these mounted up here and see what happens. No, I've got another chuck for that, haven't I? Why not?
Who is the third voice you're hearing, Yappy? Well, you've got Pete Cochrane, you've got myself, Keith Greenfield, Circular Wood by Keith, as well as Andy.
Yes, Pete will be the new boy.
Pete will be the new boy, yeah.
Very nearly screwed on there, you know. Except you can't see what I'm doing, so that's all right. It's the 100 chuck. It's only got 1'7" thread on it, so I have to have an adapter. That's what that little bit of fussing was about. Right, number 1. That's number 4. That's number 1. That's number 2. That's number 3. It's surprisingly rare that I use this chuck, the 100. Get so used to the 114s. It's a much nicer chuck key on the 114s. It's the square one, as opposed to this thing which resembles a Jacob's chuck. But that's gone together a little bit better than the other one, I think. Let's have a look. Didn't sand that, did I? No, I think I need to just tot that up a little bit. It's very close, it's nearly there.
Chris Dodd's got to go. Says it's time for his beauty sleep. Bye, Chris.
Yeah. I'm saying nothing about whether you need it or not. Cheers, Chris.
Stuart is asking a question. Sorry if this has been covered already, but could you screw extra weight to some of the jaws on an ad hoc basis to compensate for the wobble produced by off-centre turning?
Yeah, you could do, and I have done in some cases. The timber is fairly significant, fairly substantial, and it goes fast enough for me not to worry about it. So I'm just going to trim up this. Oh, I've got the wrong jaws on there now, haven't I? I'm not going to do that at all. I could just trim the edge just to make it grip a bit better, but I'm not going to worry about that. What do I do with the chuck key? Chuck key. I had it in my hand 2 minutes. There it is. So I'll take that out of there. Yeah, no, the same as I did last time. I could just trim that up, but of course that means setting the whole thing offset on in the chuck and changing chucks and putting the ring back on, and no, not doing that. So right, okay, let's put this. There it is.
He's gone and pressed the wrong button, Pete.
I think he has.
Yeah, he's like that at times.
Oh well, we'll have to talk amongst ourselves for a few minutes.
Yeah. He'll soon realise he's not getting a sensible answer.
Yeah. Is the whole thing gone, or is it just us two, or was the chat still hearing us?
The chat's still running, I believe. I think he's just hit the camera button. Taking the camera out.
Hmm. Yeah. People keep asking these questions about stuff that I don't know what the answers are.
Right, so let's try again. That's working. I don't know why it suddenly cut out on my computer. So apologies for that. But we're back in action again now. And let's turn to that one. That's it. There we are. So, sorry, what questions did you have?
No, there wasn't any. Just,
Oh, there
Wasn't
weren't any,
any
right.
while you were there.
Oh, that's all right then. No, that's all right then.
Well, there is. There's one to me from Doug Miller. Any residual problems from your stroke?
Oh, right.
Yes, I have a small limp and I've lost a bit of voice, but apart from that, nothing. But thanks for asking.
Right, so I was just talking about the hole that I'm going to form now is in that position there. I've marked it on the jaws here so that I know. So I've turned it round so that those two knots are as far away from it as I can get. There's not as big a gap on the other side, so that's that. The hole is going to go in there. It'll make it a little bit stronger. You need to look at grain direction and all sorts of stuff for that, just to make sure it's not going to give you any grief later on. None of
I'm
us
hoping it will, Douglas. Doug Miller. The rehab may take care of that.
Yeah, with a bit of luck. Yep. Right, so that's the centre. So we'll work towards it. So I'm not planning to finish this today. This is not what it's about. It's about making the jig to hold it. So I won't be keeping you too much longer. You can drill this if you want to. It does, to some extent, save a bit of breaking out from the other side, but you can always tend to get a bit of that anyway. But you can only drill the centre out, really. That's it, we're through now. That's about the shape I'd want it. I would then sand that normally. I'm not going to because I'm not feeling like it. I think there's good enough reason. Chucky there is. Slacken that off, loosen, take that out, turn it over, and then we need to get that into the right position, which is up there. So that hole wants to be in line with the gap there, like that, which is a strange shaped gap, but never mind, it'll do. That's it, that's got it. And then do the same this side. Nice and gentle. And then just tickle it up with a bit of glass paper. She's sweet. I'm not going to do this particularly carefully at this stage. I don't know about you, but I think I've had enough for this afternoon.
If you keep it in line with the two slots, it's relatively easy to mount it close enough to sand it.
That was entirely deliberate. Yes. Yes, because normally I would have sanded the other side before I turned it over. I've now got to turn it back over and sand the other side, get it lined up, and oh, there it is. But yeah, it's not million miles. I mean, this is not a great piece of timber. It's got cracks in it and all sorts, but it's a feature of yew that it tends to do that. That's near enough. It's nearly centred, but my hand will move enough to take up the slack on that. But I also need to just finish sanding this side because I didn't do it before. But, we can always pop it back into the centred one if we want to. Right, so I think I shall take that out of there. And say to you, that's it. And we'll go to That one, I think, wasn't it?
No,
No.
number 5.
That one. That's it. Yeah, that'll do. So you can. I mean, obviously that isn't finished, but you can see that it would be if it was finished. That side is better, and that's what you end up with. And then a bit of leather, hook through. I've got my leathers all in a tangle now. There we are. This takes all of 2 seconds. Push it through, pull it down, and there you have it. A slightly larger one, 75mm. Some people like the bigger ones, some people don't. I know the recommended size was between 55 and 65. I've got a 75, and I can modify these jigs to take 65 and 55 if I so desire, so that we can. Oh, it's over that way, isn't it? There it is. Watch very closely when I speak. No, I'm not a hypnotist. So, any questions? Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Jeffy. Thank you, Gary. All these people saying thanks. So, any questions that occur, I mean, just send me a message and ask. I can always attempt to answer them. And it might even give me some clues as to what to do for another live, which is always a good thing. So, I'd like to say thank you very much for Pete and Keith coming along with all the trauma that's involved in that. Pete managed to get it all working in the end, and Keith has managed to survive it.
I've survived, yeah.
So,
a little bit croaky now, but not too bad.
Yeah, no, but it's great having Pete here to take some of the pressure off. You don't feel you had to answer every question yourself or read everything out yourself.
No.
Makes a big difference. So thanks for that, Peter. Magnificent.
No worries.
Good. Okay, and we'll let you know how we go with the next one, which we ought to talk about. It's the 14th today. The 21st is in the evening for Keith. I'm not around. I'm away next week.
But you're back in the evening, are you, or not?
No, not on that one.
Okay.
Well, at least I don't think so. My wife might chip in if she's still watching. But
she was a little while ago.
But yeah. I can talk to you about that and then and see what you want to do.
Yeah, at the moment, I don't feel like standing up in front of a lathe for an hour.
No, absolutely.
And concentrating on a lathe and talking.
So if nothing appears, if nothing appears, then we're having a week off. If I'm not away, then I'll do something in the evening. But I've got a feeling we're down in Devon next week, in Brixham, which will be rather nice.
So you're down during the day. It really depends what time you come back.
No, we're down there for 2 or 3 days.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I think we come back on Friday. If it's this week, this coming week, I think we come back on the Friday. So yeah, take it that is right, and if it changes, then we'll obviously be advertising something on YouTube to say that we've got a live coming up. And if you've smashed the bell, then you will get a reminder. Okay, is that how to leave it?
I think so, and
yeah,
if you're not about, maybe Peter can cover for you if I do one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I'm sure he would.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I twist his arm enough.
Yeah, that's great. So if we can, we'll do something about it. If we can't, then apologies. But we will be back on the next one, which is the 28th. I'm due to do one in the evening on the 28th because obviously the beard isn't.
There's definitely one not next Tuesday lunchtime for certain.
Yeah. No, there's nothing Tuesday lunchtime next week. Possibly in the evening, depending on how things work out. But on the 28th, if necessary, I'll do 2. I'll do evening and lunchtime. But if Keith's able to do lunchtime, then he can do that. Is that all right?
Or we'll swap around between us.
Yeah, whatever fits him. So there will be something going on. Well, there'll be 2 things going on the 28th. Come what may, I believe. That's without checking the diary, of course, but I've got them down on the sheet, so they must be all right. Good. Okay. Well, look after yourself, everybody. Thank you very much for coming along. I don't know what numbers we got up to, but it sounded as though we were quite healthy. It's 19
thank
now.
Thank you,
but
everyone, for your questions regarding my health.
Yeah.
Do really appreciate that.
There was a lot of concern, Keith. It was
nice
lovely to see.
Feel 100%, but I'm not sure that's going to happen for a few weeks yet. But still, watch this space.
Yeah, yep. And just keep feeding your face, getting your energy together, and then you'll feel better.
Most certainly.
That's my recipe for everything: is to eat as much as you can. But doesn't always work though, admittedly. Anyway, lovely. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Brian. Thank you, Peter. Keith and Peter. I was looking at Brian El Tilno on the chat. So
bye, everybody.
Bye. I'll press the button now.